So one thing I've learned, and I was actually an experienced carpenter gave me the idea. I asked him, "How can I get a board? How can I put like a gentle slope on a board if I wanted to do like my own siding or something like that, pieces to fill in because shiplap siding has an angle. It's small here and thicker at the bottom. If I wanted to make some to match, how could I do it?" And he said, make a jig for your planer. And that was a great idea. Probably the only way I can think of, unless you have a huge saw and you can slant and saw them. So this morning I need these slanted boards where the roof comes down. We have that beam going across. Well, the beam is slanted at the slope of the roof, which is a 1.5 pitch, 1.5 inch drop for every foot. So I need something angled. I need a wedge to go in there so my posts hit against it flat. So for if a 6 inch, if we drop in 1.5 inches per foot, we're dropping 3/4 of an inch in 6 inches. See, my beam's going to be 6 inches. So I need a 3/4 inch wedge. And here we go. It goes from 1 inch to 1/4. So I'll be able to basically nail that in there and I'll have a flat bottom. Now to get that, it took a little trial and error. I was thinking I needed a 1/2 inch piece of lumber here. I didn't see one in the shop, so I grabbed some thinner ones, put them together, and it just didn't work out quite right. I had too much slope. So or not enough slope actually. So in this case, I grabbed another one, 1/2 inch, trimmed it, put my clamps so that the board rides right in here. And then you have the board's angled. So you start taking off just the top edge, and then you gradually lower your planer until you're taking off more and more and more. And once I hit this edge right here with the planer, I would like this edge to be a 1/4 inch. So I'll gradually do it one turn at a time and get it. So setting up my jig took a little time. Now that I have it on the planer, I'm not going to remove it until I have enough of these boards made. And even if I did, I know where I put it. But I'll just leave it on. Even if I need the table saw, I can lift this whole thing off and put it on the floor. So the board goes straight through. The board rides on one, comes over here and rides on the other. Now you don't want this board sticking out too far because then your board will tend to flop like this or flip up. Once you get that angle going, then the rollers on the planer will be pushing against it and they'll guide you pretty good. So it seems to go quite well once you get it going, once you get that angle. And again, I'm planing off green lumber. I once planed off super green lumber and the water was coming off it as I ran through the planer. It works. I then dried my planer. I mean, it dried off pretty good because I have a wood stove in the wood shop and it doesn't leave moisture on too long. In this case, there's no water coming off, but you can see it's quite moist. It feels very moist. The time I did do it, I needed to make some stairs, and I was just doing. At the time, I thought they would be temporary, but what I did was I oiled it. I linseed oiled the green lumber because it was in the house, and that slowed down the drying process, so it did not crack as. It cracked some, but not as much as it would have. So that's a little trick is to, if I wanted this to not crack at all, I would, although this is not really, I'm not too worried about this. It's not going to dry super fast. Okay, so I have two beams going across. I have over 25 feet on each one, so I need about a good 50, probably I should do 60 feet of this wedge 1x6s before I call it a day. Well, I have to quit now, but I'll get back at this later. Also, if you have any bad spots in the board, like a bad edge, put that so you're taking that off, because you want your best edge where you're going to have that 1/4 inch. Now in my case, after we nail this up, I think I'm going to nail another 1x6 on the bottom of it, so I have a good heavy bottom, and because I don't want this 1/4 inch to break. So by nailing another one on, that'll give it more support. It'll be wedged right in there both ways. Okay, so using your planer to plane off slanted boards. Could be siding. I did it on a roof, on the Zehr Estate top roof. I put angles where it comes down, slight angle, and then the roof. So very handy tool the planer is.